The Iowa state government passed a new bill which frankly has the transgender activists all up in protest. The bill in question reportedly removes gender ideology from state laws. They are now the first state to do so. Iowa is. Hats off. Way to go to you. But the move has spurred a massive protest in the Iowa state capitol as literally hundreds of people have gathered to protest the signing of the bill. So what exactly will this bill do for Iowa? And what are the implications of such a move? Well, here now to talk about it, and frankly, let me just add an additional word to talk about this great news, is Iowa State Representative Stephen Holt. He actually is the manager of the bill in the State House. Representative Holt, welcome to Washington Watch.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Well, it is our honor to have you. So this bill started in your chamber as a Senate bill, Senate File 418. So break down quickly for us the specifics of the bill and what it does.
Right. So I'm a state representative. I'm actually in the House, and the bill did begin in the House. The identical version in the Senate actually passed a few minutes before ours, so we used the Senate version ultimately to pass it. But I've been working on this bill for about 8 months. So it removes gender identity as a protected class in Iowa code. Back in 2007, when Democrats had full control of Iowa government, things are very different now. Republicans have supermajorities and control the governor's office now. But in 2007, they controlled government, and they put gender identity as a protected class in code. And of course, gender identity is a feeling, and the Civil Rights Code is normally about immutable characteristics based on truth. So fast forward the last 5 or 6 years, Republicans have been playing whack-a-mole, passing legislation to protect women's sports in Iowa. We passed legislation to mandate that bathroom and changing facility use would be based on biology at birth. We passed legislation to prohibit hormone therapy and gender mutilation surgeries on our minor children. And we found out that Iowa taxpayers were paying for these surgeries for Medicaid patients and individuals incarcerated in our correctional facilities. We passed legislation to stop that, and it was struck down. The Iowa Supreme Court said it's because gender identity is a protected class in code. So we realized that these two things cannot coexist. We can't have all of these laws protecting girls' sports and their private changing facilities and all of these things that we've done. We can't have those in code and also have gender identity as a protected class. So we knew it was going to be a very difficult and challenging situation. I worked on the legislation for months with the Alliance Defending Freedom and other legal experts. It was introduced in the House, introduced in the Senate. As chair of the Judiciary Committee, I floor managed it. It passed yesterday, and the governor signed it. Governor Kim Reynolds signed it just a few minutes ago.
That is awesome. Awesome news. Congratulations. High fives, exclamation points across the board. Fantastic job. What would anyone be opposed to this bill? What would be any chief concerns among those who oppose it? It sounds like nothing but common sense.
Well, because it restores equal footing in the law. You know, it restores that everyone is treated equally in the law. And unfortunately, members of the transgender community believe it is their right. If they're a biological male that identifies female, they believe they should be able to go into female restrooms, female changing facilities, female sports. We've seen Peyton McNabb in North Carolina, 17-year-old high school volleyball player, now has permanent brain damage because she was hit by a ball spiked by a transgender player. We've seen what happened with Riley Gaines. We've seen, we had numerous reports in Iowa of girls not wanting to go into their restrooms and their locker rooms because there are biological men in those. The transgender community, 2,500 was the figure that was in our Capitol screaming lots of profanities and obscenities over the last few days. They demand that their rights be elevated above the rights of everyone else. It's that simple. And that is no longer the case. Women will not be erased. And it's amazing to me that Democrats who once supported women's rights are now supporting erasing women. It's just unbelievable.
It is. All right, just a couple of minutes left. I know one of the aspects of this whole thing that we FRC had been on top of is the whole religious liberties aspect of this, where gender identity laws have unconstitutionally bypassed and trampled religious convictions. Does this law need to, or has it done anything to address that concern?
We actually passed, and I floor managed this too last year. We passed the Religious Freedom Restoration Act last year, which we believe requires a strict scrutiny standard for any kind of government intrusion on religious liberty. So we believe that would address the religious aspects of this. And this legislation really just removes gender identity as a protected class, and transgender individuals will be their rights will be protected, just like the rights of every Iowan by the U.S. Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Iowa Constitution, and Iowa law. They're just on the same footing now.
Well, listen, again, Representative Stephen Holt, thank you so much for joining us, first of all, here on Washington Watch. But thank you far beyond that for you and your colleagues, a spectacular job that you have done in Iowa, leading the way for our entire country and for other states to follow suit. That certainly is our prayer, but I want to just personally say thank you for a job well done, and thank you so much for joining us today on Washington Watch.
Thank you so much. It was great to be with you.